Since Roman Abramovich put Chelsea up for sale over 2 years ago, the club has been plagued with instability on and off the pitch. This week, though, things have got worse. Clearlake and Todd Boehly's relationship is at breaking point, and the ownership, well, is in crisis. So why has this partnership fractured, and what does it mean for Chelsea's future? For this one, I'm joined by The Athletic's Adam Crafton and Chelsea writers Liam Toomey and Simon Johnson as well. Gents, we'll get into the areas of contention between Clearlake and Todd Boehly in a bit. But firstly, Liam, look, international break, right? We thought something nice to talk about potentially. Some of the players maybe having a good breakaway with their national teams. But here we are, conversations around the hierarchy. Can you just bring us up to speed with how far back these tensions have gone, please?
Yes, I think, this is obviously the biggest story at Chelsea, and it's been bubbling away behind the scenes for a while. All credit to Bloomberg for the initial report that I think broke the dam on all of this last week. But a lot of people, including us, had been hearing rumblings about the relationship between Todd Boehly and Behdad Eghbali for months. And what has changed over the last week or so is that rather than denying that there were any issues, which all parties always had whenever we'd asked them, there has been, at first an acknowledgement of the scale of the rift, and then I think in recent days an escalating level of animosity in the information that has been flying back and forth between the sides, to the point where it's now very, very clear that the current ownership dynamic is untenable.
Simon, I think about, when people go into business together, especially for something as huge as a football club, and you'd like to think that many people in a situation like this will probably look at it and go, right, that's how he works, that's how they work, this is how we are going to work together. Didn't they foresee any of this coming? Didn't they know how each other operated before taking on such a big thing like a football club, for instance?
Yeah, they knew each other. It wasn't a case of a bunch of strangers getting together and sort of breaking bread for the first time at Stamford Bridge, but reality bites, doesn't it? When you've got a bunch of powerful businessmen who all sort of have their different ways of working, at the time it's just about getting the deal done, and then later on, it almost felt like later on we'll worry about it when it comes to it. And I think hindsight's a wonderful thing, but it always sort of felt like an inevitability that this clash would happen, because if you actually look at the way these guys work, Todd Boehly was very open about the way he likes to operate, that he goes into a business, he puts people in charge, and then he lets them get on with it. And that's the way he likes to work. Whereas Clearlake and Behdad Eghbali is much more hands-on. So this was always going to happen, you have to say. But the size of the split and the schism is one that perhaps we couldn't have expected it to be this bitter this quickly. And maybe this is also as a result, don't forget, of how disappointing it's gone. Like, this brings pressures, doesn't it? When you're in charge of a football club, you're not getting the results on the pitch, you're not achieving the results that you want, you're not qualifying for Champions Leagues, you're not winning trophies. That inevitably is going to lead to an escalation of, well, I think it should be done this way and I think it should be done that way. The most difficult thing now is how this is all resolved, and that I'm sure we're going to talk about in a lot more detail now.
Yeah, for sure. Adam, word on from you in terms of, we've seen so many changes at Chelsea so far, ownership, managers, players. Is this repairable, this situation? Where do you stand with that?
Certainly from, I think, Todd Boehly's perspective, it's deemed to be irreconcilable. But this isn't a situation where you can just wake up today and resolve it, right? There are things that need to happen to resolve the situation. So at the moment, you're just in deadlock. I think in terms of the question you just asked, Simon, in terms of how did no one see this coming, I think you have to go back to the takeover itself and the nature of that takeover, which was a time-pressured auction, right? So at the time, Todd Boehly decided he wanted to buy the club, and he kind of had to get a consortium together, right? And it was a bit of, I'll call him because I know him, I'll call him, we'll get the gang together and we'll get this bought, because there was other parties bidding for the club. Obviously the British government had kind of taken ownership of it following the sanctioning of Abramovich. And I think that time pressure probably meant that, that clearly there was a level of due diligence around the club. There were these existing business relationships. But as far as I know, Boehly and Clearlake had never operated a business together, which is very different to doing a deal together, right? You can do a deal together, people walk away with their money or they walk away with investment, but actually operating something day to day. And it's also the other thing that strikes me is that operating a football club is just so different to
That's what I was trying to allude to. It's massive.
Right?
Like, this is so
operating big. Right, and it's also very different to operating a US sports team, right? Because the jeopardy, people just talk about promotion and relegation. Well, relegation for Chelsea is missing the Champions League 2 years in a row, right? Because there's a point of maybe 3 years is relegation, maybe 2 years is having seasons like Everton have had over the last 3 or 4 years, right? But if we're talking equivalents, and I think that has created a pressure point. And I think there's also been a pressure point around the fact that I think to the layperson, if you were to walk up to the average Chelsea fan and say, who's the owner of Chelsea? I think they would just say Todd Boehly, right? Because so often it has just been described as Todd Boehly's Chelsea. What was that famous Gary Neville line in the Carabao Cup final against Liverpool? Boehly's billionaires, Boehly's billionaire bottle jobs? And I think the ferocity and the feverish nature of a club the size of Chelsea, global fan base, has bitten on Boehly. I think the level of hostility, abuse at times has surprised him. And I think over the last year or so, it's become more and more apparent that Clearlake, that they are the majority share. I mean, we knew from the start they were the majority shareholders, but they weren't quite as visible, I think, at the start. It's probably fair to say. So I think that's created some tensions as well. But there's lots of tensions in each direction. I mean, they don't even agree over what they disagree about, right? That's the stage we're at the moment. They don't agree about what they disagree about. So how can you agree on anything if you can't even agree on that?
Yeah, I guess we've spoken about it, Liam, but just in more detail, what are they agreeing on from Boehly's side and Clearlake's side in terms of how they operate? I mean, do they operate completely differently? Have they got grander visions beyond repair?
Well, I think in terms of a lot of the big picture stuff, the stuff that would have initially brought them together as a consortium before you really bog down into the detail and how we're going to get there, I still don't think they're too far apart in where they want Chelsea to be. Investment in youth, investment in the women's team, growing Chelsea as a brand around the world. These are fairly general things that it's no one's against that. Giving Chelsea a shiny new stadium, whether it's at Stamford Bridge or Earls Court, no one in the ownership is against that. As ever, the disagreements come on how you get there and who's driving the bus. That's a crucial part of this, and I think you can see from the way the consortium was presented from the very early stages of the bid process. Todd Boehly was deemed to be the face and the driving force of it, and I think he probably came into Chelsea with the expectation that even as a minority shareholder, he would be the one driving the bus. And that he would be trusted to kind of run the football side of the business, although I'm sure he didn't necessarily see himself being interim sporting director for the first transfer window. But what has been clear is that pretty much since January 2023, it has been Clearlake dominating the direction of Chelsea. And when I say Clearlake, you have to talk about Badede Bali, because as co-founder of the firm, he is the most visible and actively engaged representative of Clear Lake at Chelsea. And while every decision requires sign-off from Bowley as well as Egbali and Jose Feliciano, it has been Clear Lake really driving things, with Egbali working very, very closely with the co-sporting directors Lawrence Stewart and Paul Winstanley. And it seems as if in the last month or so, and maybe longer than that, Bowley has arrived at a point where he's drawing a line in the sand and saying, look, if I can't drive the bus, I want to get off the bus, essentially. And Clear Lake are adamant, that they're happy driving the bus and they want to keep driving the bus.
I'm not even sure it's about driving the bus. It's almost, I think he's happy sitting on the bus, but he doesn't like the driver of the bus. Right? I think it's even more kind of nuanced than that at times. And I think it's been like, we've all had conversations over the past few months where it's become incredibly apparent that this relationship is really damaged, right? I mean, the amount of times we'll have had conversations where we'll have been reassured that there was agreement on this decision, or there's alignment on this, alignment on that, and really it's just emerged over the last few days that there's barely been alignment. It doesn't seem to be an alignment on that much at all. And at different stages over the past few years, it feels like one side or the other may have bitten their tongue, partly because you're in a partnership, so like you can't just use a formal veto for every decision, right? In the same way as Egbali wouldn't have done that in the first summer where Todd becomes interim sporting director, signs Aubameyang and Sterling, and does a lot of deals with Tuchel at the time. And in the same way, probably Bowley's bitten his tongue at certain times over the past year and a half or so as well. I think it is clear that, I think if fans are trying to look for certain crunch moments, I think clearly the Pochettino stuff at the end of last season, I think was as divisive within the club, or as in within the ownership, as it was among the fan base, right? Anyone who was watching Chelsea over that season, it was entirely reasonable to come to a conclusion to say, yeah, I think it's best we move on for XYZ reason, or I think it's best we give this some patience. Bowley came down on, I think this guy deserves patience. I mean, he said that, right? He was on stages in both LA and Qatar, basically publicly lobbying really for Pochettino. And, there was a visible dinner that he went for Pochettino with at the end of last season as well. Pochettino even spoke about it in a press conference. I think Pochettino had difficulties almost being like the child in the middle of a divorce, right? At certain times, trying to balance that relationship. So, some people would say that was, people who would agree with Bowley would say, well, that sounds like good stuff. People on the other side would say, well, we've got sporting directors who have come up with a report recommending that a change is made. We've put these specialists in place. Why is he doing this, right? Why is he taking the manager for dinner the week before a season review? So there's fair arguments on both sides. I'm not sure I entirely buy like the idea that this is all about one coach being fired. When you talk about the scope of the business, the scope of the asset potential, it seems difficult for me to believe that Todd Bowley is creating a crunch moment solely because of a guy who finished sixth, right? Was it fifth or sixth?
Sixth,
right? Who finished sixth in the Premier League, right? I find that difficult to believe. That there is so much more that has gone into this, and I think it is a lot of it from the Bowley side appears to be around this perception of, I think, really Egbali's character, which is obviously a difficult thing that for Clear Lake to accept, and something that they would reject completely, that they would say, it's not micromanaging from Egbali's perspective, it's using expertise to help the specialists do their jobs. But, they don't agree with each other.
Simon, I'm sitting here and, I don't want to speak for Chelsea fans, but I'm speaking as a fan of football, and I'm thinking, what, the last 2 years have been insane, right? Like, so you've had all these changes at my club that I'm paying my hard-earned money to come and watch because I love my players. I love this team. I've followed them through thick and thin. So hold on. We've had so many managers. We've had so many players go. And now the guys that are supposed to be running the thing, they can't even agree on that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just... there's been no stability. If you could give Chelsea one trophy, it's the instability trophy, because it has been over 2 years. If you go back to when Abramovich was sanctioned, that there's been no settling down period, and just when he sort of at the top of the show talking about international break, just when he thought, right, the transfer window pretty much is over. Okay, there's a few players they're trying to get out to the likes of Greece and Turkey right now, but the main business is done. And you just think, particularly if you're Enzo Maresca, right, you're thinking, oh, finally, okay, the bomb squad has been, that big furore, Enzo Fernandez, the furore over what he did in the summer, which overshadowed the pre-season tour, all this mess that he's had to deal with. And what's his first pre-match press conference going to be about post-international break? It's going to be about what on earth's going on with the ownership of the club. He's inevitably going to try and straight bat it. He'll be briefed, I'm sure, by the PR department to try and say as little as possible, knowing as well who will be watching. But this is the last thing Chelsea needed, because it's just going to dominate the media agenda until it's resolved. There's going to be what's going on with one side, what's going on with the other side. But I mean, Pochettino, the whole furore about him, yes, it's a chapter in this saga, but it's not the chapter. I mean, the fact that, as we talked about earlier, the fact that we knew that there were issues between them many, many months ago just says that this was just an example of things they didn't agree on. You only have to be around the club to realise what's going on and where the power really lies. That when after a game you see Egbali with the sporting directors, you don't see Todd Bowley at many games anymore. I mean, even on pre-season tour, which I was on, Egbali was always there with Paul Winstanley and Lawrence Stewart. The only glimpse I had of Todd Bowley was at the first pre-season friendly against Wrexham in Santa Clara. That in itself, even though I sort of said this is the way Todd Bowley likes to operate and sort of take a backward step, inevitably it's got to lead to some kind of discord, because you've got one co-owner who's very much with the sporting directors who are making all the decisions, and one co-owner who's very much stage left and sort of perhaps sort of waving from the sidelines, sort of trying to get a word in. It's for a club that has had far too many changes and far too much turmoil. It's just something they can do without as they try and bridge the gap between. There's no coincidence the clubs that are succeeding are the ones that are the most settled, right? The ones at the top of the Premier League. There's no drama coming out of Manchester City, Arsenal, Liverpool. Liverpool have even had a change of head coach and nothing's really changed. Whereas Chelsea just lurched from one drama to the next.
What about Maresca? Was everyone in agreement that this is the next step for Chelsea?
Well, we know for certain that Bowley wanted to keep Pochettino. But once Pochettino was gone, this is a process that is being led by, the co-sporting directors, Paul Winstanley, Lawrence Stewart. They identified Enzo Maresca, made that recommendation to ownership, and as we've stated, Todd Bowley has a formal veto if he wants to use it, which we don't believe he has used, at least not in a public sense up to now on major decisions. And so I think there was, a degree of alignment certainly on the sporting side that Maresca was someone that they wanted to invest in, and you can see the investment that Chelsea have made in Enzo Maresca, and in particular his style of play, is vast. It goes beyond the 5-year contract that they've given him, because they're investing in this possession-focused positional style of play throughout the academy at Strasbourg. So Maresca is in many ways an even bigger hire for them than Graham Potter was, and Graham Potter wasn't a sporting director led decision because they weren't in place yet. But so I think that there's a broad will for Maresca to succeed at Chelsea and to deliver on the reasons why he was hired, but there are plenty of other areas on which Bowley and Eghbali and Clearlake are not in agreement.
But I'm just going to quickly jump in that I do think the length of contract is significant here, and sort of going back to the Pochettino thing, that talking about sort of or could you see this happening in terms of a division between the owners? You could certainly see one happening with Pochettino, because a 2-year +1 contract, when you've given Graham Potter a 5-year contract, and subsequently you've given Maresca a 5-year contract, it's a very sort of public announcement that we're not, as a group, entirely 100% sure about this one. And I think he was very much a Bowley choice from the start, Pochettino, and I don't think he was, or certainly the other side, were particularly convinced, and hence why they sort of ended up with this mishmash of let's sort of wait and see how it plays out kind of contract, which always gave Chelsea the possibility to look at it just 1 year in, and therefore lead to potential disagreements between them over whether Pochettino should stay or go. What I would hasten to add is that sort of on Bowley's side, he would argue that as much as he publicly sort of and made a big play of wanting to stay, that he did meet with the co-sporting directors and listen to what they had to say, and then went and sort of said, okay, I'll go along with it. But I think it may have been rather grudgingly rather than with sort of 100% belief it was the right choice.
So just jump in. I mean, the thing we've kind of not properly set out, which I think is important, is the relative stakes, right? When people are saying Clearlake are more hands-on, well, you probably would be if you had over 60% of the company, right? That doesn't seem an entirely unreasonable thing. I think what muddies the waters and confuses it is they appear to both have this sort of voting rights and the matters of control. Clearly have the controlling stake, but Bowley's position, as chairman, and now Clearlake might describe Bowley as like a minority investor, right? But that wasn't how it was framed when he first came in. It was almost framed as his consortium. He was very much front and centre at the start with the whole interim sporting director role. I think that's why it confuses things. Bowley's side would say, he's the largest individual investor in that, Clearlake manage a fund, right? So, and manage, we don't really know who the investors are from the Clearlake side. We don't know whose money has gone into Chelsea through Clearlake's side, because, they are managing that money and that side of it isn't disclosed. So Bowley we're always looking in this business to put faces to things, right? Because it's sport, it's entertainment, it's about characters, it's about moments. I think Bowley became prominent for that reason, but also because the nature, he is the chairman, right? Like you can't just now be like, oh, this guy's a passive investor, right? Like he is the chairman of the company. So when there is a dispute, it is a big story.
Talk about moments, talk about personalities, Liam. They need a stadia for people to watch them. And, there's been muted conversations around Chelsea Stadium redevelopment or perhaps moving elsewhere. What is the latest on that?
The latest is that there is no answer to the biggest question that Chelsea need an answer to for their long-term future, which is what to do about Stamford Bridge and potentially what to do with that hugely tantalising plot of land that used to be the Earls Court Exhibition Centre less than a mile away. When this consortium came in 2022, we were initially told that by the end of the year there would be a stadium plan communicated. Then that was pushed back to summer of 2023, then sometime in 2024. there's still been nothing. And in the meantime, there has been a shifting of the prominent personnel leading that project. So for about the first year, it was Jonathan Goldstein, London property developer, long-time Bowley associate. He was very much front and centre, personally handled the purchase of the Sir Oswald Stoll mansions adjacent to Stamford Bridge, and dealt with a lot of meetings with, council, stakeholders, fan groups. And Janet Marie Smith, who was, the architect who worked with Bowley on the Dodgers renovation. That all changed last year, in the second half of last year, formalised in October with the hiring of Jason Gannon as Chief Operating Officer at Chelsea. He's since been given the additional title of President in the latest executive reshuffle at Chelsea earlier this month. And he is now the one managing that stadium project. And he has real credentials to do so. He was the former managing director of SoFi Stadium. And as we understand it, he is one of the few things that the Bowley side and Clearlake agree on, that he is a good leader to formulate a plan for this stadium.
It's for England. Benjamin Kalman was Finland's last away scorer in this competition back in September of 2022. He registered 5 goal contributions in 3 games for his club side Cracovia prior to the international break. He won't be starting this evening, but he's in the squad. The hot stat: England without a win at Wembley in any of their past 3 matches there. Brazil a 1-0 loss, Belgium a 2-2 draw, and a 1-0 friendly defeat to Iceland just before the Euros. Referee tonight from Denmark, referee Krog. CROGH, hope I've got that one right. Capacity of 90,000. I don't think we'll have that in the driving rain. Just as Italy played last night against Israel in Budapest, it is leaking from the skies. A good Finnish contingency though. They're going to play in their away strip. England in the home white, as they should. About to get kickoff happening for you. Thank you for joining with your match commentator David Farini. Happy to be here on the Live Sport EU Network Flash Score, bringing you plenty of live broadcasts throughout the season, including Premier League, Serie A, La Liga, and of course international football, as we did with the Copa America and the UEFA Europa 2024 competition. I could be confused with the Europa League, of course. Sven-Göran Eriksson, a tribute for him, former England coach, passed away earlier this year, a couple of weeks ago. In fact, they had big tributes in Italy for him over the last couple of weeks. I was over there to see it. His former club, Sampdoria, and Lee Carsley, everyone on their feet for him. Sven-Göran Eriksson. I'll take you through the starting lineups. Finland starting with a 4-3-3. Let's see how they adapt. It'll probably be a lot of players behind the ball for a lot of the game. Captain is Pradecki. There's the number 1. Left back is Uranen. Right back is Stahl. 2 centre halves, Hoskinen and Ivanov. They're in the all blue strip. England in the all white strip. Kamara, Keskinen and Peltola through the midfield. Left wing Jensen, right wing Schuller. Of course, Teemu Pukki. Talking about Harry Kane's 100th cap. Teemu Pukki is well past that. We'll get an exact stat on that. Pretty sure it's around the 130 cap mark by memory. Finland should kick us off. Good looking away finish kit, and Kamala's also adorn the blue boots to match. England starting with the Pickford in goal, a 4-2-3-1 under Lee Carsley. As Finland get us underway going from left to right. It's back for the keeper. Short ball, it skids along the surface and holds up, and they'll have to be careful of that. Yes, there's a high up and under that will go out for an England throw at halfway on the right side. Long throw from Trent Alexander-Arnold, who's playing on the right side of the fence, of course, with Lewis on the left. In front of him is Anthony Gordon. He's got possession high up. A loose ball. Has to take on his man. Goes back down the line for Rico Lewis, the 19-year-old. Big career in front of him, that's for sure. Third year of senior football, started early under Pep Guardiola. Good ball by Gomez. So it's starting tonight with number 19 for England. Big moment for him. Real player, here's Grealish in the box, left half space. He's back outside for Gomez. Pint-sized and diminutive, they call that. Stones the centre half with Konsa. Rice and Gomez in the middle. Grealish, Gordon, Saka and Kane. Good looking lineup. Plenty of strength there, plenty of talent across both sides. Of course, Finland leaking goals of late. England want to exploit that early on. Saka, right wing. 80 seconds into the contest. UEFA Nations League B2. Technically. So England looking to consolidate their first position with another win. A clean sheet will help them. They should get one here, I think. Finland, despite Pukki, who's now 34 years of age, plays for Minnesota United. Left Norwich a couple of seasons ago. Plenty of time in the Premier League. He's still a crafty character, looking and lurking, waiting to pounce when he can. On ball. Stones, pinpoint out to Saka, right wing, 20 yards away. It'll be first time in from Trent Alexander-Arnold all the way by Kamara. Here comes Finland on the counter. Good pace there to get past Gomez. That was a good run from Jensen. Looking for some support. Referee says fair challenge. England with the numbers picked up. And it's Konsa who will start for Rice. Second year at Arsenal. Scored against the Republic of Ireland. Declan Rice played the whole 90 minutes as well. See how he goes tonight. If he's double stomp their feet up and down that he's playing too much for England. It is all about getting back to UEFA Nations League A, relegated last time out. England spreading play down the left with Lewis and Gomez. We'll go through some of the stats on Flash Score. Gomez did get 14 minutes against Ireland. 2-0 win there, and just the goals for Rice and Grealish. Grealish starting central this evening as Gordon's out the left. Takes it away from his man and into the back post. Half a chance here for Saka. Be cleared up and away. And Finland holding on. It was Peltola with the clearance. Corner in from the left side. And going right to left and ready. Markku Kanerva not looking too satisfied on the bench. Gordon getting around. It was Adam Stahl who was marking up the Djurgården right back. First year there since leaving Mjällby. And for now it's Alexander-Arnold. A fresh haircut, nice and short. We're in the rain here. Murky old evening. How's the cross? It's in. Good area on the 6-yard line. Up and away. And Pookie's there as well. Puts that over his shoulder. Picked up by his opposite number Grealish with the number 10. He's still operating at right centre-back. Gordon trying to just probe. Finds Alexander-Arnold across for Saka. Out to the right side where Kane is. Operating a striker that is omnipresent. Times he'll be absolutely everywhere. Out to Grealish on the left wing. He's rotating with Gordon up against Stahl once more. Edge of the box. Rice miscued. Fresh air in fact, and away Pukki. First time tried to turn. Gomez with the intervention. Now it's back for Udonen. Long clearance. Stones calmly done. England inside their own half, though, they've looked composed for the entirety of the 4 minutes and 50 seconds so far. 0-0 at Wembley. A vertical pass by Alexander-Arnold, not getting behind for Saka. Holds up in the wet. Cleared away by Finland, who now come through Keskinen. Good pace shown up against Konsa. Gets a touch on it. It's back for Pickford. He gave it away for Pukki there. 4 goals for Minnesota for him this term. It's getting in the way of Pickford. I think Pukki had a second thought about diving in the box. Didn't go down. It's a goal kick for England. They play it short. Rice is there, just on the edge of the box with Gomez. So when that happens, it's the two centre-halves that peel off right and left. Stones to the left, Konsa to the right. Aston Villa field. As we Konsa now, 26 years of age, 6 years in Birmingham with Aston Villa. Still will remember the days of Jack Grealish there. 4 seasons for him at Manchester City. He goes down on the turn, and Gordon plays on. Takes 2 away. Gomez, quick feet. It's Gordon again, up against Stark. Looking to bend it over. No, goes short. It's Lewis. Congestion there. Gordon finds some space. Turns it back onto the right boot. Gomez. A balanced approach from England. Not breathtaking by any stretch. 7 minutes in. Still looks effortless, especially in slippery conditions. Grealish likes to take 7 or 8 touches. This time does as well. Out for Konsa. The switch is on. Lateral ball. Gomez picks it up from Alexander-Arnold. Stones, everyone behind the ball for Finland, as we expected. They don't want to be on the receiving end of a belting. Some kind of footballing lesson as Gordon takes on his man once more to the back post. Lovely, gorgeous delivery. Skids off the top of Saka's head. Saka wants to just lift it to the back post. Kane lined up the volley. Hits the man first time into the rear, into the buttocks of Matti Peltola. DC United midfielder, and got back there to help out his right back, Adam Stahl. Did that come off the foul? I think it did. England will have a corner. Alexander-Arnold will dish off to that top left corner. Coming from that flag, 8th minute, 0-0. Take a look at the stats in a moment. We'll see how this set piece pays off. Everyone waiting in anticipation behind that goal. Home stadium. Can they get one here? Big fist away by the keeper. Lucas Radecki, the 34-year-old Leverkusen goalkeeper. Gordon is managing to get a good run in, slip the ball across. 2 Finnish defenders there. Now they'll play down the right wing towards halfway. And unfortunately for Fredrik Jensen, the ball taken from between his legs by Gomez. End up a Finland throw. The rain still pouring down. Stahl with this throw just on the defensive half for Finland. Going from left to right in this first period of the game. Have a look at some of the other scores straight after these stats. It's so far just a .05 XG for England, 72% of the ball, just a 1 goal attempt, a couple of corner kicks for them. Nothing for Finland, barely a pass. They are playing on the counter-attack, trying to get through from Jensen to Pukki and Keskinen down that left side. England with it. 10th minute of the game. Goalless so far. Albania 0, Georgia 0. It's the theme across Europe right now. It's the same across 4 scorelines in the UEFA Nations League B. England, Finland, of course, Ireland, Greece, Czech Republic, Ukraine, Albania, Georgia. Earlier today, Latvia did get a goal against the Faroe Islands, a 1-0 win. Macedonia and Armenia playing out a 0-0 right now, but it's still early days, early minutes in these fixtures. Andorra Malta in the D, 0-0. Netherlands do have an early goal to Gianni Reinders in the second minute against Germany. That is a firecracker of a match, I'm sure. Hungary-Bosnia, 0-0. Right wing with England, slow build-up play. It's conserving energy. Alexander-Arnold again into the middle for Stones. He approaches. It's just running around between 2 or 3 England defenders. That's his zone. No counter-pressing here from Finland. Stones again, centre field. Out to the left for Grealish. It's got Gordon to the left of him. So Grealish's role at the moment is playing just behind Kane, circulating with Saka. Sturridge from England is again Gordon, the 23-year-old from Newcastle. Starting his second match under Lee Carsley, much preferred. Now Gomez, good switch, low and accurate out to the right wing for Alexander-Arnold. Unfortunately his cross wasn't, and away comes Kamara. Finland in transition. Kamara takes on Rice. Good pass towards halfway. Saka getting back, playing right back. And for now, England looking solid throughout, no matter where Finland try and counter through. I think most of their fans here must be happy it's still 0-0. Of course, London, a very European city. As Rice picks up on this throw. He's giving that away. Good intervention there by the number 11, Rasmus Schuller, 33 years old, from Djurgården. So there's a couple of Djurgården players out there on this right side. Right back and right wing. Swedish club, for those of you who don't know. Now into the 13th minute. Throw comes from Finland. First time touch. Pukki will shoot. It's deflected away. It's good defending from England, but they were caught off guard. And just a little flick through to put Pukki in behind. It was Alexander-Arnold playing him onside. And across came Rico Lewis, who was ever alert to take it away from the veteran. So a corner kick for Finland coming in from their left side. Playing in the all blue with the white numbers. It'll be Keskinen to chip it in. And it's away by Grealish. Much too easy. All the way back to the keeper. And Finland still with it. Some good signs there for them. For once, just getting forward, they weren't sloppy. It's going to just generate something, some movement. There's Rice. Oh, that's a dangerous pass back for Pickford, who takes it out to the sideline. Rice might have been better off going there in the first place. He's been stalked by 2 or 3 Finns. Back into the box, and Pickford, again with his pass, have to be careful in those situations. The attempt now by Finland is to keep it away from Grealish. Put it in their defensive third. Across comes Gordon. And England won't get it on the high press, but that's a heavy touch from Kamara. And luckily for him, his country is going to have a throw right wing. Look in that pocket now. With a chip forward by Hoskonen. Pukki tripped over by Angel Gomez. Taken quickly by Finland. Good period in the game for them, 14th minute. Back for Ivanov. Keeper comes out. Mr. Pukki's spot. England zoning off. They chip it forward about 25 metres. Over the top again for Pukki. This time it was Jensen. He's playing as the second striker. Stones. Coming back for Pickford. Now start again in their own half. The Three Lions. Top of the broadcast, we were talking about Harry Kane. 66 goals in 99 caps coming into this at an average of .67. Debuted in 2015. 9 years later. Looking at him as the number 1. It'll be tough to break it. He's beaten Wayne Rooney and Bobby Charlton to get to this position, and it's Rice into the right half space, tries the low cross. Across comes Radecki and picks that one up by Leverkusen man, Finland captain. Of course, Kane had to surpass Lampard on the way. He presented him his golden cap. Likes of Vivian Woodward and Tom Finney, Alan Shearer, Michael Owen, Jimmy Graves, and of course Gary Lineker. Charlton Lineker falling 1 or 2 short of the half century, really surpassing that, retiring in 2018. Scored a magnificent free kick in the Manchester United Old Boys match. Beautifully put away. For now it's back to reality. Let's not go into the nostalgic dreamland. Stokes 45 yards out from goal. Konsa looking forward, and it's very, very tight. They have to pick their moment, try and run over the top for Kane. He's now come deep. It's well done by Finland. They're trying to frustrate England out of this as Saka jinking and pulling up, hitting the brakes. It's back to halfway with Konsa. It's a right side tilt for England, but Finland have matched it. He's becoming a centurion. Harry Kane still the 10th highest capped player. Most appearances. Peter Shilton with 125. Can he beat that one? Who knows? 20 years for Shilton to get there. Kane's barely played 10. One ball away, and Finland trying to again play on the counter. Topi Keskinen won't get there. We'll go out for another England throw right on the halfway mark. Right side, and Stones will chip it out to Gordon. Good defensive header from Adam Stahl. No nonsense stuff. Michael Owen in attendance. He's the 6th all-time highest scorer with 40 goals and 89 caps. 0.45 was his average goals per match. Kane's not the highest ever. It's been beaten by Matt Loftus for 0.91. 40 goals in 33 games. That was back in the days of no defence, 1950s. Out to the left wing for Gordon. Receives from Lewis. Has to take on Stahl. Good job for him. Has to have his specs on. He's watching Gordon's feet. Okay. Switch from him. First time cross from Alexander-Arnold. Picked up by Stones. Lewis scampering away. Again out for Alexander-Arnold. Now Lewis, the right and left back, teaming up. Rice. One in the box for England, other than Gomez and Lewis. Poor defenders. Finland pushing them out. England happy to go through the training module. Technical brilliance and supremacy from that. As Grealish will try once more. 22 yards away, out to Gordon. It's a one-on-one if he can beat his man.
Alexander-Arnold, who took the corner kick and has stayed on that left flank. 19 minutes played and still 0-0 on BBC Radio 5 Live. Ball over the top, aimed towards Harry Kane. It's a lovely lifted ball, but alert defending by Robert Ivanov just to prevent it from reaching the England captain.
He actually does well there, Ivanov, because Harry Kane was just sliding in behind him, and he just kind of flicked his right foot up in the air and just stopped the ball from going past him. It was a good delivery, and I think, you know, it has to come in quickly, different angles. You get an opportunity to put the ball in the box, just put it in there. Ask the question. They can, if it gets cleared, it could land at someone's feet. It just goes out to the edge of the box. It gets recycled. But I think the more England can ask the question, you might get a mistake. It's a really slippery, greasy turf with a bit of drizzle coming on it. Just really ask the question as often as you can.
Gordon once again seeing a lot of the ball. Grealish gets it from the Newcastle United player. Just moves away from the Finnish defence, all in royal blue. Konsa plays it forward. Gomez took it into his feet neatly, threads it through. Here is Harry Kane. Good shot and a good save by Radetzky. Got it out of his feet quite early, right-footed. Comfortable height for the keeper. Parried out. Cross comes back in, and this time Ivanov heads it away. And the first real moment. But now there is a break. Keskian running forward. Pukki is up with him. Keskian running at the heart of the England defence. Keskian still going. Enters the penalty area onto his right foot. Curling effort, right-footed. And it curls wide. And all of a sudden we had a chance at either end in the space of, 60 seconds.
Well, it's the third time he's scared England with his pace there, Keskian. I mean, he is not shy of being direct and wanting to drive and run at the England defenders the moment there's a bit of space, and there's so much of it because England are so dominant. He just wants to run into it, runs John Stones, who does quite well, and just gets his shot off.
Can England maybe exploit those gaps as the Finnish players start to retreat? From Helsinki, 3 appearances so far for the Dons, just the 1 goal against Queen's Park. As the ball threaded through, here is Saka, steadies himself, takes the deflection, going goalwards, outstretched arm from Radetzky, claws it away. And all of a sudden, there are chances starting to appear for both sides.
Oh, straight like an arrow down the middle of the Finnish block. It was Angel Gomez fizzed it into Trent Alexander-Arnold on the half turn. You wouldn't normally expect Trent Alexander-Arnold to be more advanced than Angel Gomez, but the pass was absolutely delightful into the pass.
It's hard for a goal. You throw your body weight one way, it's so hard to stop it, get back up and then adjust, and it ricochets back out. Really does react very well, Radetzky.
Saka on the right-hand side with the cross and the header from Harry Kane, but the flag is up and it will not count. And on his landmark occasion, he knew straight away, I think he was looking. So we're midway through the first half, like Lee Carsley, Last time I was here was watching Bruce Springsteen in the summer, watching The Boss, and now we'll be hearing from the man who we call the Chief.
That's enough Bruce Springsteen, Ed. So, 0-0. But Kane, he's had one saved. He's got the ball in the net, Matt, but from an offside position. Well, it does feel, I have to say, that there was an era of inevitability that Kane somehow will get his name on the score sheet tonight. And hang on a minute, because we still haven't.
Yeah.
We still haven't ruled this out.
It's tight.
The video assistant referee Rob Deepering is still watching this in a studio somewhere or other. So this could be it. Let's see. Still, this must be very tight.
It's not a nice way to celebrate your
No, it's certainly not.
Captain goal, is it?
This could be Harry Kane scoring on his 100th appearance for England.
Well, Gordon's onside. Gordon's behind him. I think he looks offside from where I am, but whether or not the foot of Stall is playing him onside.
Here's the signal, and it is offside. Confirmed, still 0-0.
Yeah, it's a shame because if he leaves it, Anthony Gordon probably scores, because Anthony Gordon's run is from deeper, and there's 2 England players right in line for the header. Saka doesn't think twice, cuts him on his left foot, whips it to the back post. Really good delivery, and like I said, if he just keep putting the ball in there, we have the movement and the quality to get on the end of it.
Angel Gomez is fouled on his first start for England here, first appearance for England here at Wembley, after coming on as a substitute in Dublin on Saturday. I can tell you that in one of the other matches in League B, Nations League B, Czechia are winning 1-0 against Ukraine. Still Netherlands 1, Germany 0. And here on 5 Live from the BBC Sounds as well on this wet night at Wembley Stadium, with somewhere between 60 and 70,000 people, I would imagine, watching in the stands, and the rain pouring down. It's 0-0, and he has Alexander-Arnold on the right-hand side, but the covering challenge is there, and the ball bounces away via a deflection from the defender onto Alexander-Arnold and through for a goal kick. And Izzy Christiansen, Matt Upson, you don't have to be a tactical genius to work out Finland's approach tonight, do you? Be very, very solid, stay behind the ball, 4-5-1, but look for the breakaway.
Absolutely. Test England, test that moment when England are committing players forward. That's what Finland are looking to do, taking their time, building out from the back here.
Radetzky, the goalkeeper, played it out. Rice, who's playing in a very advanced role, Declan Rice, for England, with Angel Gomez playing really as the the holding midfielder, and then joined by Trent Alexander-Arnold in there. But Rice really pushing far, a long way forward.
It was very kind of Arsenal-esque, isn't it? You know, the way he plays in the midfield for Arsenal, gets really high.
He's now being tackled, and Keskinen is under this. And what a chance for Keskinen! And from the D, he's got right underneath it in his green boots and sent it spiralling away over the top of the crossbar by a distance. Probably hit that, I don't know, 6-7 yards over the top of the crossbar, but it really opened up for the Aberdeen man.
Should do miles better. It's a brilliant tackle. Declan Rice a little bit sloppy on the ball. Great tackle from midfield. I think it was Peltola with the tackle to win the ball. And like you said, Keskinen, who's looked a real threat with his pace, just had a moment where he had to show a bit of composure, a bit of quality, hit the target, and it's a poor finish from him. Really, best opportunity they've had so far in the game, Finland.
Yeah, Topi Keskinen of Aberdeen, the Celtic number 2 goalkeeper. Sinisalo is on the bench as well for Finland, and so is Exeter City's Ilmari Niskanen, who we may see in the second half. Thomas Galvez as well of Manchester City, who's on loan in Austria. Here's Anthony Gordon on the left-hand side. He's been bright, but really England are just having to pick a way through this packed Finnish blue defence. Grealish now to the fair head. Gordon on the left-hand side, the Newcastle United man. Back to Gomez of Lille, the first man playing for Lille to win a full cap for England. Lewis, now Rico Lewis of Manchester City, near the edge of the box, but Finland are able to clear away, and then it's played forward by Peltola, but dealt with by England at the back. John Stones, who's seen relatively little football this season, and then Gomez with a long ball through the middle for Kane to chase, but Radetzky was out very quickly, and just at that moment my eye was caught by another paper plane being thrown down from the stands. That's how it started and ended for Gareth Southgate, if you remember, here at Wembley, his first match against Malta when he was the interim. There were paper planes coming down from all quarters that night, and in that match against Iceland, just before the Euros, his last match at Wembley, likewise, when England lost to Iceland. Here's Saka against another Nordic nation, Finland. Saka going one way and the other end of the byline, and the cross is blocked behind by the defender. Keskinen, corner for England from the right this time.
I mean, it's always going to be a little bit of the nature of the game, isn't it? This type of fixture is going to be a bit of a paper aeroplane match, isn't it, John? You know, where people are going to get a little bit lured into it, not being as exciting and as combative as what you'd like because of the huge swing in possession and dominance that England have, and it just makes the game difficult.
The golf as well, Finland. Ranked 63 in the world. England, one of the best teams around. Just come off the back of getting to a final, 4th in the world rankings. If you look at that, but this Nations League B is where they're meeting, and you have to win the group to get promoted to the top division. So there's been a bit of pushing and shoving. Still waiting for the corner. Danish referees ready now. Saka left-footed into the 6-yard box, and Konza in there actually, who was trying to get his head to it just over the top of the Aston Villa man. And now Glenn Kamara, the former Leeds United man, number 6 on his back. He's playing in France as well, just like Angel Gomez. Plays for Rennes now after his move this summer for around about £10 million. Finland go back towards the edge of their own penalty area, and then it's turned back to Radetzky. Finland trying to play out from the back. Peltola is fouled by Gomez, and it's a free kick to Finland in their own box. I think they're dicing with danger, Finland.
Well, I'm not comfortable watching it, Izzy. Are you?
Well, no, absolutely not. They're looking to play out from the back now, Finland. The last couple of opportunities.
Listen, they know what they are. Be solid. And go for the counter-attack.
Yeah, they're looking to fizz the ball into the midfield. They're coming to show. Well, they've done it twice now. They've gone long on this occasion, but the last couple, they're looking to have a little go, just maybe to catch England off guard. But Angel Gomez there with really good pressure.
The risk and reward don't add up for them, does it? Because I don't think they're going to have the possession to be able to then play through the lines and get through the other side. So you're putting yourself in a position where you've worked so hard to be disciplined and resilient and hard to beat, and if you turn the ball over and concede a goal doing that on the edge of the 18-yard box, you just kind of think, well, what's the point?
I mean, they do have, of course, an excellent goalkeeper, one of the best around, really, Radetzky, the captain, the Bayer Leverkusen captain.
And I'm sure he'll want to play, but in realistic terms.
Xabi Alonso tells him.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's exactly what he has to do. But it is England back in possession. 0-0 on the night. Harry Kane has had the ball in the net on the occasion of his 100th cap for England. I did feel for little Louis before the match, his third child, the 3-year-old, who's been brought over from Germany today with 3 of his children, as Ian was mentioning. Louis couldn't face the Wembley crowd and had to be kept off the field. The ball's played forward now for Saka on the right-hand side, but Saka's cross is cut out in the middle by Hoskonen, who deflected over the top of his own crossbar. Another corner to England, though. Almost opened them up there.
Yeah, it was a lovely pass by Concert. Just getting himself into an advanced position. He sliced the ball in between the centre-back and full-back into Bukayo Saka. And I think Declan Rice was lurking for the cutback, but Harry Kane was on the final shoulder who Bukayo Saka was looking for.
Right, packed penalty area. Finland have got everyone in there, all 11 in the all blue. England in the all white have got 2 men at the far post, just watching Harry Kane on the edge of the 6-yard box. Anthony Gordon's on the goal line with Peltola, and Saka now delivers it to the near post, and one of the defenders just throws his body at it and blocks it away. Back to the Arsenal man Saka on the right-hand side. I'm fairly confident he won't play the whole match, Bukayo Saka, with the North London derby this weekend, having started in Dublin. Here's Rico Lewis, who then goes back to little Angel Gomez. He's a tiny figure, isn't he, Gomez? Now back to the right-hand side to Alexander-Arnold, and then Saka back to the Liverpool man again, Alexander-Arnold, the only man of the back 4 who kept his place from Dublin. Maguire and Gay and Colwell all on the bench this evening. Here's Gordon now, still on the right-hand side. Anthony Gordon playing the ball into the penalty area, but straight at Glenn Kamara, who's able to clear for Finland. Comes back to Alexander-Arnold. Lots of white shirts forward. Alexander-Arnold, long diagonal ball. Rice gets it down far side. He's taking it out into the full-back position. Comes back to Grealish, left corner of the box. Grealish square to his club colleague Lewis. Back to Grealish, and it just took a flick off the defender, and Grealish knew that it was going behind for a corner, so left a corner from the left-hand side.
Yeah, nice link up, good running off the ball from Jack Grealish, plays it inside and then continues that run diagonally. I think it's good tracking. I think it's Jensen in the end who's all the way back there doing a defensive job for his team, who just toes the ball out for a corner.
Yeah, next to where the Finnish supporters are, around about 1,500 of them taken short. Grealish, then Saka with a shot which is deflected, took it wide by probably a couple of yards, just skittering over that wet surface that we have here tonight. And another corner that Alexander-Arnold is going to go across and take. Jack Grealish, who scored the second goal on Saturday. Remarkable, really, with Rice and Grealish scoring the goals that day. Grealish yet to score for England here at Wembley. Alexander-Arnold then steps away from the angle. Harry Kane just backs away to the far post. Across it comes, finds Kane, who gives it back to Saka. 22 yards out, Saka on his left foot, shoots, but that is wide and high as well, and bounces into the hoardings and all of those England flags in front of the stand to our right, and it's still 0-0, is he, Christiansen?
Yeah, absolutely, why not? Saka having a go from distance, he shifts the ball onto his left foot really well. It's off a corner routine, headed to the back post. Kane just knocks it down into Saka's path, creates the space to get a shot off, and he just thrashes at it. But he looks so sharp, Saka. He seems to get more and more mature with every performance when I've seen him play in an England shirt.
Lee Carsley down there in his maroon top, the England tracksuit, dark coloured bottoms, and Marko Kanerva just standing to his right, the experienced coach of Finland.
He's a croucher, isn't he?
He is, yes,
Carsley.
Yeah. It's played forward into the England half, but Stones will tidy that up.
Looks like a little stool, like Bielsa.
Yes, that's right, yeah.
Looked like the kind of ice box, didn't he?
Yeah, he's right down on his haunches now. Lee Carsley, his second match, his first one here at Wembley. He was saying yesterday that he has been asked to take charge of these 3 camps, even though publicly the FA have said he's got it for September and then we'll see. But he said he's been asked to take charge for all 6 matches this autumn. Here's Lewis to Gordon on the left-hand side. Gordon against Stoll, the right back, then comes back onto his right foot, back to Gomez. Gomez clips one in, right-footed into the penalty area. Kane gambled, but it was headed away by Ivanov, the left-sided central defender. Now Saka into the area, cutting in field, trying to find the opportunity to shoot, which he does, but the Finns were up to that, and it was blocked away on the edge of the box. And it comes again, though, for Grealish to cross towards Kane, who got his head to it, and the referee says Kane shove the defender, and it's a free kick to Finland.
He does well there, the Finnish left-back, Jurinen, sticks to Saka like glue. I mean, how many times have we seen Bukayo Saka get that half a yard coming inside the pitch to get his shot off? We saw it in the summer, you'll see it for Arsenal, you'll see it time and time again against top players. And I think maybe because they're so compact, the space isn't there, that you can get nice and tight, and your partners or your teammates next to you, if you get beat, somebody else is in line to step in and get the block in. But they're being very resilient at the moment. England have to either move it quicker or, like they have done on occasion, switch that play quickly with real quality, fizz those passes from central to wide or cross field, and hopefully then the wide players can get that space to get out the fullbacks isolated.
I think the rain has just eased, but there is still drizzle coming down here in northwest London in England. A rare moment when the ball is deep in the England half to our left. Alexander-Arnold clears to the halfway line. Kane can't reach that, and Finland have got possession back inside their own penalty area. Yes, I suspect in the Kane family that will be a running family gag for decades, won't it? When Louis couldn't face coming out onto the pitch for his dad's 100th appearance. In 15 years' time, he'll groan at everyone ever brings that up.
How old is he, John? Is he 3?
He's 3.
Give him a chance.
Well, they won't be mentioning it now, but give them 10 years. It'll get mentioned at every family gathering. Here's Stones, just turning the ball back to Pickford, winning his 70th cap tonight. Jordan Pickford, the 5th man to play in goal 70 times for England. Ukraine have equalised against Czechia in Group B1. That's where it is still Albania 0, Georgia 0. And it is still 0-0 here at Wembley. Lee Carsley still waiting for his first goal as interim coach here in this stadium. Here is Esri Konza, coming in tonight. Konza to win his 8th cap. And then Alexander-Arnold trying to slip the ball through the middle, but central defender Hoskonen was able to slide in and put it behind for another England corner. They're mounting up. This is number 7.
Yeah, it just feels a matter of time, doesn't it? Before there's going to be a lapse of concentration at some point. A defender's not going to fill in the right hole, or England going to pick the right pass at the right angle. I think that may have been offside had it got the other side of the defender. Harry Kane just creeping, but there's a lot of pressure building in that 6-yard box for Finland.
Yeah, Saka again, little steps from him, then in comes the corner, left-footed towards the back post. Finnish head gets to it, and the referee spots another foul, and it's Hoskonen on the ground again, so it's another free kick to Finland. But I mean, it's so congested in there for every set piece. As I say, Finland are bringing everyone back, but they're looking for the break, and Radetzky, the goalkeeper, takes this free kick, and it's over the top of Gomez, and now they're breaking through the middle, and Timo Pukki was racing to the edge of the box, but groans, throws his eyes to the skies because it was intercepted, and England now come forward with Declan Rice. And here's his Arsenal teammate on the right-hand side. Rice suspended for Sunday, remember. And then Rice, who I think might have been in an offside position, takes the ball, shrugs off the defender, still going, there's no flag yet. And so Saka now again to Kane inside the box with his golden boots, the England captain. Then back to Alexander-Arnold, back again to Saka on the right flank. Kane makes the run down to the byline. I'm not sure he's going to get there. He clips it across. The flag, it does now go up. The ball was behind before Kane was able, on his last stretch, to cross it. So goal kick to Finland, 0-0.
Yeah, that relationship between Saka and Rice on this right-hand side. Rice just sort of works off Saka. He just goes into the space, either for the run to receive the pass, or he just creates the space for Saka to come inside. And I think in the wider perspective of the match, what Lee Carsley is looking at in this game is which players are combining well with each other, because a game like this requires a lot of off-ball movement, a lot of players doing opposite movements to kind of create that half a yard. And there's been some really good signs on this right for England so far.
It is Finland though. Jensen on the right-hand side. Jensen tries to get it back. In fact, it's played back across by Pukki to the right flank. The right back, Ståhl, is there as well. This is all on the right for Finland, but England are able to nick it back. And Gomez to Grealish. Grealish is in danger of losing out here if he's not careful, to Peltola, but does well actually. He's been around the block a few times, Jack Grealish, and indeed today it's happy birthday, Jack Grealish. 29 today. Grealish carrying the ball just up to the halfway line and then flicks it off to Saka. And then Gordon, Rico Lewis, and then back to Saka on the halfway line. That's what Gordon and Saka want. They want to have a run at these Finnish defenders, but they're well organised. Saka takes it out to the left-hand side. Gordon does make a run down into the full-back position, but it goes back out to Lewis, and now Grealish as well. Grealish, little ball into the penalty area, bounces away from Saka, and Stall, the blonde-haired right back, is able to get there first and clear it away towards the halfway line. The respite from the rain was brief. It's now come on very heavy again here at Wembley Stadium, as Alexander-Arnold hits a pass over the top for Saka to chase to the byline on the left-hand side, cuts back onto his right foot, still going. Saka stabs it across. Cameras threw himself at it, he blocked it away. Lewis, suddenly England up it. Alexander-Arnold's low shot just past the foot of the far post, skimming the surface, sending water spinning up, but wide behind. Goal kick, 0-0.
Well, whenever England look for that ball in behind and the run is there, then there's trouble, and Saka makes a really good run on the opposite side. He just can't quite find the cutback once he gets to the byline. He's got his head up, but he can't pick the pass. There's so many bodies in there. Then gets out to the edge of the box, circulated back out to Trent Alexander-Arnold on the right-hand side. Just gets one touch out of his foot and just drills it across the goals, probably about half a yard wide of the far post. It's a nice move from England, and I think the directness is what gets you in there.
Keskinen to Jensen, and now Camara makes a roll into the box, but the cross from Jensen was blocked by the first defender, who was John Stones, who has had it played against him, and it's actually bounced behind for another corner. Germany have equalised against the Netherlands. Dennis Undav, just before half-time. Netherlands won, Germany won in the match in the top tier of the Nations League. 2.5 minutes of the first half to go, and Finland with their second corner of the match.
When you see that match that you just read out there, they're the matches that kind of equal amount of possession. When you're in comparison to England dropping down to the B group, you really do see the difference, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. So Keskinen with the corner, couldn't beat the first defender, Lewis. Yes, all very well talking about the Nations League. And there'll be more matches for England against other teams at the top of...
Exactly.
What was not part of that plan was getting relegated to the second division, which is what happened last time round. If you remember, when England were in the group, we saw a lot of it, didn't we, you and I?
Yeah, we did.
Hungary, Italy, Germany, England drew 3, lost 3, and here they are down in the second division. Gordon on the attack. Gordon now towards the byline, but defenders diving in, 2 of them there going to ground, and even off. In the end, good tackle actually, put it out of play. Ivanov, the number 4, with the Russian father, who plays for Eintracht Braunschweig in Bundesliga 2. Here is Grealish, stabs it to Gordon. More paper planes floating down from the upper tiers. Lewis tries to thread it through. Gomez was challenged there on the edge of the box, and he was fouled. And it's a free kick just outside the penalty area. The intention was from Gomez to pass it through to Harry Kane, who already had the ball at his feet when the free kick was awarded.
This is a wonderful area for a strike, and Harry Kane went and picked the ball up straight away. He's lurking over the ball, he's standing over it. Grealish is around it, Trent Alexander-Arnold is around it. It's going to be fascinating to see who strikes this. It's perfect for a right footer to curl this one either side of the wall.
Naive challenge from Camara, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
On Gomez, it was just late.
He's done well, Gomez, though. Yeah. Is he, don't you think? He's been really bright.
He's looked great, I think. Transitions, I think, will be written on Lee Carsley's notepad. I think England have looked a little bit vulnerable at times, but yeah, on the whole, he's looked really, tidy and
clever with the ball.
So clean on the ball.
Yeah. Actually, it's not going to be Kane. Kane's wandered away from this, taken up a position in the wall, and it is Alexander-Arnold. And we know what he can do from these sort of positions. Just to the left of the D, maybe 3 yards to the left of the D. And Alexander-Arnold, right-footed, curls it! Going for the far top corner. Radetzky just almost motionless. Didn't go for it, but was confident it was whipping wide, but not far.
I didn't like the goalkeeper's position there. He was very central. If that's on target, I think it goes in. Do you know what I mean? In a real dip, he hit it with that flat kind of knuckleball effort from Trent Alexander. What a ball striker he really is. I mean, it's not far away. It's a lovely effort technically.
I think the goalkeeper's position, Matt, is compliments to Trent Alexander-Arnold, because he actually doesn't have a clue which way he's going to go, because he's got the ability to do either.
But the trouble is, you stay central. you get beat on both sides. So you almost got to think, well, I'm going to half gamble towards one, so if it goes there, I mean, it could have gone either corner, and he was struggling, he was stranded, wasn't he?
Yeah, bringing back memories to me of World Cup 78 and seeing lots and lots of goals flying into nets with goalkeepers barely moving. I know you don't remember that.
Not quite.
There's ball played through to Keskinen, but out comes Pickford, all in orange, gets there first, plays it forward. Here's Rico Lewis now. Lewis again, second cap for England, second time playing for England as left back, although he's been right back for Manchester City this season in the absence of Kyle Walker. Now square ball to Alexander-Arnold, forward to Saka, left-footed cross for him to the back post. Kane got his head to it, he's battling with Stall, and it is Stall in the end who's able to get a foot to it to clear it away, but England back with it with Rico Lewis, and that is the last action of the first half. Lots of England pressure, actually quite a number of chances. Alexander-Arnold with a shot wide, the free kick as well that we've just been describing. Harry Kane did get the ball into the net with his diving header. There was the Saka shot that was clawed away by the goalkeeper, and that early chance for Harry Kane as well that we discussed right at the start of the match. And Finland a couple of times causing problems on the break, but it has felt an inevitability that a goal will come, but it hasn't yet, Matt.
No, it hasn't, and credit to Finland for being dogged and resilient, and they've stuck to their task man to man and been in the right place at the right time. England have to do more, they've got to move it quicker or switch it quicker, and we have looked a tiny bit vulnerable at times, and it's just one of those games that I can see why people are getting frustrated, but it's difficult to break down sometimes.
Is it?
Yeah, I think I totally agree. I mean, the game is being operated in one half of the pitch, on the occasional counter-attack from Finland, but it's difficult for England, it's difficult for any team to break down a block as deep as that, as compact as that, and you've just got to keep being patient and keep doing the right things, keep trying to create those angles, the spaces, and there's players in this England side, I mean, I could name 3 or 4 at least who have got the ability to pick out that killer pass. Trent Alexander-Arnold's almost found Harry Kane on a couple of occasions, but it is one of those nights to be patient, to keep attacking, and I'm sure it'll come.
Yep, so half-time here at a wet Wembley. England 0, Finland 0.
John Murray, thank you very much. Izzy, I was interested to pick up on a point that you made in commentary about how England do break down Finland, because they're making it so hard for England here at Wembley. And one of the things you talked about was the importance of the movement off the ball. What do England need to do to be able to make that penetration happen?
Well, it's more of the same, really. I've seen some fantastic off-the-ball runs from Gordon, from Saka, from Declan Rice joining in. Harry Kane's remained sort of, somewhat central, occupying the 2 centre-backs, but it's all about finding pressure. We speak a lot in football about a pressing game. Finland are not pressing in England in any way here. They're dropping off into a low block, they're tight, they're compact. They're probably actually operating in a 40 by 40 metre grid, Finland, and that is difficult. You've got to keep shifting them side to side, but like I said, England have to be patient and just keep doing the right things, not get frustrated. It's very easy to become erratic and to sort of snatch at things when the game is like this, but you've got to keep trying, because the moment will come.
Yeah, you've both called for patience, and that
they've made a couple of changes which I'll tell you about in a moment. But first of all, the England side, Pickford is in goal. Alexander-Arnold, Konsa, Stones and Rico Lewis as the defence. Gomez and Rice in the centre of midfield, with Saka on the right, Gordon on the left, and Grealish once again in that central role behind Harry Kane, the captain and the latest centurion in the men's game, as he closes in on the Billy Wright, who's ahead of him on 105 caps in the top 10 of appearance list makers for England. Radetzky is in goal for Finland. Chelman has come on, Benjamin Chelman, who plays his football for Cracovia in the Polish top flight. He's replaced Teemu Pukki, the former Norwich striker, as Grealish picks it up. The other player to come on is Niskanen, as the ball goes out to that right-hand side and sends over the cross. I'm not too sure who. So Chelman came on for Pukki, and in fact it was Uurinen, the left back, who Niskanen has replaced. So he plays for Exeter City, plays as the left midfielder, signed from Dundee United in 2023, and so the 26-year-old comes on for his 21st cap for Finland here, the Exeter player at Wembley Stadium for Finland. So Radetzky in goal, Stoll, Hoskonen, Ivanov and Niskanen, Jensen, Patola, Schüller, Kamara, Keskian and now Chelman, who will lead the line in the absence of Pukki. Ball played forward. It was a good header down by Niskanen as well, as he was covering, and in fact our referee from Denmark, Morten Krogh, has given a free kick to Finland, and I would imagine we're going to see very much similar fare as to we watched in the first half.
Yeah, I mean, Chelman, who's come on, is quite a bullish figure, very physical. Pukki obviously has the goal record, is more of a goal threat, but this guy likes to put himself about and be a nuisance, and I think that probably could be the most effective thing Finland could do at the moment. It's just be difficult to play against, to see where the ball might drop. He's just wrestling here with Konsa, as Konsa does really well, getting his body in, rolls out of possession and then finds a pass out to Saka and sets England away, but he's now gone down with a bit of a kick to his shin, and that's exactly what Chelman does. He just puts himself about the pitch a little bit.
It's a direct ball launched forward by Ivanov. England, meanwhile, with Konsa still down, are attacking. Gordon on this near side, the left, finds Grealish, left corner of the area, links up with Rice, passes the ball in field and quickly cleared away as Harry Kane was waiting, poised inside that penalty area. Jordan Pickford is currently tending to Konsa at the moment, and in fact England have put the ball out of play to allow treatment for the Aston Villa defender, and so the physios will come on.
He's struggling a bit, don't know. He doesn't look particularly happy, Konsa. He's in some considerable pain. I don't know if he twisted it. It was with that tussle, and as he used his body to roll out of it, he then kind of passes the ball and he just catches his ankle, it looked to me. Did it like ankle?
Just seemed to roll a bit, didn't it?
Yeah, it's one of those that makes you squint. Is that the right word? Squint. I've just seen it. It's very quick, sudden jerk of his ankle. And that, we've all been there, haven't we, Matt? Yeah. It's one of those where it can be really painful initially, and then sometimes the pain wears off, but if it doesn't start wearing off and if he still seems to be in discomfort, that doesn't look good for Konsa.
It was an unusual movement though, wasn't it? It wasn't doing it when he was kind of planting his foot. It just kind of looked like it gave way a little bit, didn't it? Just from underneath him. And I think you're right, Izzy. I mean, they're not going to take any chances, and Harry Maguire is up the touchline quite vigorously warming up at the moment.
Aston Villa, who at the weekend play Everton, 5:30 kickoff at Villa Park, one of 4 Premier League commentaries that will be bringing you on BBC Radio 5 Live and BBC Sounds. And next week, the Champions League, the revamped Champions League, of course, is underway, and we will have live coverage on 5 Live Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday. So 3 successive nights of live Champions League football to look forward to. Konsa is on his feet, but he's still getting tended to by the physios on the far side. England temporarily are down to 10. They're just waiting to see whether he can continue. Harry Maguire has been warming up. Manchester United involved in the early kick-off at the weekend. Uncontested drop ball. and England get the game back underway.
I think a good gauge of whether the change needs to be made or not is the intensity that the potential substitute is warming up at. And Harry Maguire at present is not in any sort of dynamic state. He's doing some static stretching, and I think if he was about to come on, he'd be raising the heart rate a little bit more than he is right now.
Concer's trying to run it off on the far side. England still down to 10. Grealish in a central area plays the ball, a lofted ball out towards Saka, brought down very nicely off the chest, and then strokes the ball inside. Alexander-Arnold to Gomez on his first start for England. Declan Rice to Gomez. Out it goes towards Saka. Saka runs forward, then he's faced by two blue shirts. Back towards Rice. Deep ball into the penalty area. Headed away by Niskanen. Comes then out towards Rico Lewis. Gomez, with his back to goal, plays it back towards John Stones. Once again, every outfield player is in the half away towards our left-hand side. Gordon, doubled up on Gordon. Once again, has that little bit of link-up play with Jack Grealish. He goes square. Alexander-Arnold in that central area. Only the second time, incidentally, that Alexander-Arnold has started back-to-back games for England in his international career. As the ball is played forward, and there is Concer back on the field of players. He just steps forward, and England have the ball once again here at Wembley Stadium. And now with Grealish, edge of the area. Grealish slips it into the channel towards Kane. Cut back. A couple of Finnish players are there. Gordon left-hand side of the penalty area. Nicked on the outside by Grealish to Alexander-Arnold. Rice fires it in. Keeper gets a touch behind for a corner kick. Good advantage to be played by the referee. In fact, has he brought it back now for the free kick?
Yeah, it looks like it. It looks like he's called the free kick just inside the D. I mean, there was so much pressure. There's a wave of blue shirts coming out to press the ball one after the other as the England players were just popping the ball to their right-hand side every time. Almost looked like a bit of a rugby kind of move, just handing it off till it gets to the wide of the box, and Declan Rice strikes it with his right foot, tries to drive it into the far post. It's a relatively simple tip over the bar for Radetzky, but you're right, then. I think he spotted something earlier on with a challenge. And
it was on Grealish, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, and just brought it all the way back because there was no real advantage played.
This is Alexander-Arnold territory.
It is. It's the same as the one at the end of the first half, but just more central. And I think you were interested by the goalkeeper's positioning on that former one, weren't you, Matt? And he has to be central on this one because the ball's central.
Yeah.
Alexander-Arnold or Harry Kane? It's Harry Kane who blasts it, and the keeper makes a fantastic save. He just threw himself away to his right, and Harry Kane is...
Hoskonen. And from England throw left wing. Grealish. Gomez. First time passing between the pair. Grealish. Again. Long switch. Alexander-Arnold. Good trap. Plays it flat. Rice gets the shot away. Then on the follow-up was Kane. Couldn't get the shot. And then it's Koskinen there. Good cross back in towards Grealish, but Finland are working their way out of danger. Good period of play here for England. Edge of the box, no one comes to Grealish because they make contact with the ball just inside the area. Back to goal, flicks a pass, taken by Camera, chips it downfield for Kalman, away from Stones, foot races on, Stones wins. Finland throw 10 minutes into the half. Let's go back to that Kane free kick. He got it round the wall, but it was fairly central, and Radetzky got a right fist to it, off the wrist in fact, and then back in and cleared away by Rasmus Schuler. Trying to spark something down the left side with Niskanen and Keskinen. Keskinen now on camera. First time pass. Well done by Schuler. Finland just with a few passes, stroking the ball around nicely. Hoskonen felt the pressure. Back inside. And Peltola back for the keeper. Steele, enough composure to keep possession despite England's high press. With a gegenpress. With a Carlsley press, I guess you could call this. And now it's taken by Konsa. Well done. Stones puts it into the path of Gomez. Still in centre arc, and Alexander-Arnold very, very narrow. Central from him. Rice goes out to the right side. Checking in on some of the other scores. 2-2 Netherlands and Germany. Bringing in commentary on that one. Reinders, Undav, Kimmich and Dumfries. And the goals, still 0-0 Hungary, Bosnia and Herzegovina. As Radecki picks up on a long ball, I hope for one through the middle. Czech Republic retaking the lead against the Ukraine. Such with 2 goals. Van Aert with 1. Now Rice. Can England get their own here? Out to the left. Grealish puts it on for Gordon. What a save that is from Hradecki. Puts it back to the goal line. Gordon will chip it back into the danger area. Up and away by Ivanov. Well, that is shocking. Defence that came there from Niskanen. Put it on a platter for the bicycle kicker. Again, the save comes. And how have England not taken the leads? Let's have a look at this one on the replay. It was tremendous work from Kane to find Grealish, then Gordon, but miraculous save, reaction save. Then it was Gordon back in, and it came off Niskanen. This time the goal goes in, and it is big Harry Kane. 57th minute, smashes that one. It's ruthless past the keeper, and he scores in his golden game. It is his golden moment. Game number 100. It is goal number 67, the all-time leading scorer for the 3 Lions. They are roaring now. And it is Harry Kane who took the responsibility to thunder that one through. Hradecki pulled off a series of good stops. Harry Kane, Bayern Munich man. It all started with Finland in possession. And again, it was just poor from the substitute. This Ilmari Naskinen that came in, gave the possession away. It was quick passing from Alexander-Arnold. Harry Kane picked it up on the edge of the box, took it past Ivanov, onto the right boot, down the middle of the goal, but it was high into the roof of the net. And that is how we liked it from Harry Kane. I think he's scored something like 65 of his goals from inside the box. A couple from outside. Went close with a free kick moments ago. And now it is England 1, Finland 0. Finland now will have to come. They've conceded 3 in each of their last 3 games. So, having a look, England do deserve the goal. And now there's some real pressure here from Sakau and Ivanov. Alexander-Arnold will claim the assist in that one. Just having a look at the head-to-heads between these 2 nations. Finland didn't get a 0-0. Was in Finland last time they met in the year 2000 and also 2001. England with a 2-1 win. That was at Anfield. 5-0 in 1984. England smashing the Finns. But Finland with a couple of good results at home. Between then and now, a couple of draws. We're heading towards a draw here until Harry Kane. Now it's Rico Lewis. It's off the outside of the right boot, outside the right post, coming in that left half space. Gordon put it in. It was Lewis. He's hit it after he's taken one touch to control, looking for his debut goal in game number 2. Manchester City left back. Now Esri Konsa is back down, and surely now with Harry Maguire warming up, it might be time for Lee Carsley on the hour mark to make a move. Finland have conceded in the last time they got a clean sheet was against Northern Ireland in a 4-0 win, and that was Euro qualifiers. Also Marko Kaneva, the Finland coach, they need a goal. They want to stay up in League B. Standings, as we have Greece and England on top. Greece are leading 1-0. So are England. They both won the other night. It is a change here with Konsa coming out. And let's see who's coming on in his place. Sublime Euros. It's Colwill coming on. Colwill. 9 minutes against Crystal Palace. He's Finland taking a short goal kick, trying to progress. And there's some good pressure here. It's Kane looking for 2-0. Had the shot, comes off Holkonen. And it's now chipped forward by Schuller. Picked up by Rico Lewis. England now trying to flex their muscle. Rice, Gomez, Nancy Cody Manuel at some points. Straight on the left wing with England. Levi Colwill has played 3 times with Chelsea in the Premier League this season. Scored once and assisted once in 23 games last term. Really slotted. England change formation. Looping ball over the back for Saka. Won't get there. And it'll be seen away. And it's been a poor game from the Finnish left back that's come on for Uronen. Ilmari Niskanen gave the ball away. Picked up by Alexander-Arnold and dispatched by Harry Kane. 1-0 England. He celebrates like a madman on the touchline. So Colwill, after getting a start against the Republic of Ireland, start at left back in that game, picked up a yellow card. Stats in match events. The flash score at Maguire starting the back line with Guehi and Alexander-Arnold and Colwill. So 3 changes to the back line this evening. And Mainu out for Gomez. minutes nearly up. Desperation from Trent Alexander-Arnold there. Then it's good turn. It was well done on the pirouette turn from Finland as they look for a way through. Couldn't quite find it. I think they've made another change. Let's see who's come on for them. Cameron's still out there. Here's Gordon. Tries one from distance. Bounces low. Easy enough for Radechki though. There has been another change. Jensen out for Lott. Good first half from Jensen. Third change of the evening for Finland. Rod playing his football at 31 years of age with Minnesota United. There's a couple of them there, including Timu Pukki, who started the game, came off at half-time. Rod scored 6 times and assisted 12. That's this season, 25 games. It's been there for quite a number of years, since 2019. Before with Gijon in Spain and Panathinaikos and HJK, from Finland to Greece to Spain to America, now to Wembley for him. Robin Watts. Who else can Finland turn to for goals? It's more about just turnover of players, getting fresh legs onto the pitch to try and keep up with England and just maybe catch them off guard for a few seconds. Finland with a free kick out on the left wing, about 40 yards away from the corner post. So they'll have to put a deep ball over the top of this England defence, who are standing about 8 or 9 yards off the edge of the penalty box. 65th minute of the game, UEFA Nations League. It's going to come round the back. Alexander-Arnold was awake. Out for Gordon now. They'll switch it from one side to the other. Gordon takes on his man. He's been wrestled down. It's a rugby tackle almost. Good sportsmanship on the rebound there from Rasmus Schüller. Number 11. And number 11 short of the yellow cards. We might see Joel Poyampalo at some point. Hasn't scored in Serie A in just his one appearance so far. 22 goals in Serie B last season, his career best. And at 29 years of age, a couple of Premier League sides were interested in him over the past 24 months, including West Ham. Double change coming for England. Saka for Madueke. And that is Anthony Gordon out for Eberiche Eze. Eze still with Crystal Palace this season. Last year he's got one goal already in 3 appearances in the Premier League this season. 11 goals, 4 assists in just 27 matches, and that's his career best in the Premier League. He scored 14 in a season at QPR in the lower divisions, and Crystal Palace coming in for him for just under 18 million euros back in 2020, and it's been a gamble. It's paid off. So just looking at the match summary now, it's Colwill, also Madueke and Eze in, Saka, Konsa and Gordon off. Madueke, 22 years of age, still with Chelsea, 3 goals already this season, just 2 appearances. And that is the talent coming through. English youth systems coming through from PSV Junior is known as Madueke. He's got 9 Premier League goals. He's scored a bundle in the Eredivisie as well. He's got 11 there for PSV and 9 for Chelsea. Where can Finland find a goal? And when is their next change coming? Kalman, Niskanen and Lod, in for Jensen, Uinen and Timu Pukki. Premier League and Championship fans will remember Timu Pukki and his long distinguished career in Norfolk. Finds himself back in England, and why not coming through from Minnesota United. 4 goals this season, 10 goals last term, and 26 goals back in 2020-21 for Norwich, and 29 in 2018-19 for Brøndby and Celtic and Schalke and Sevilla. HJK as well in Finland, scored a few back in his native homeland. As Finland now looking, as we check the stats, let's have a look at the stats. 73% of the ball overall for England, but in the second half, Finland creeping up towards 30%, 10 goal attempts in the second half from England, so they deserve to be on top. Overall, 18 goal attempts to 2. It's going to break in play here for a moment. 1-0 for England, 70th minute. Well on top in this game. Probably should have scored 1 or 2 more if it wasn't for the heroics of the Finland captain, Lukas Orečki, of Bayer Leverkusen. Harry Kane netting one in his 100th England game. For those of you who don't know, milestone game for the England captain, presented with a gold cap by Frank Lampard and Ashley Cole. Before the match began, out there in the wet, it's cold and it's a bit chilly in Wembley, northwestern suburb here in London. It's good to have you with us on Flash Score. More information Nations League. It's still England 6 points along with Greece. Let's see if they can mount some kind of fight back in this game. Finland, who have conceded in about 7 or 8 games in a row now. Don't know good on the scoreboards. 3-0 loss to Greece last time around. So we'll pick it up in the 71st minute. England down the left wing. They'll chip it across to Alexander-Arnold, looking for the run from Madueke. Couldn't find his man. Now it's Gomez on the spin. Rice waiting for it from Stones. Vertical pass. Easy enough. England coming through. Grealish. Left half space. Up against Hoskonen. Wants to chip it. Won't be able to. It's well held up. Looking for an option. Takes his trademark 18 touches. Now it's over to the right wing where there's plenty of space for Alexander-Arnold. Chips it into a beautiful area near the penalty spot. That is a beautiful defensive header from Ivanov. And Gomez making room as now England coming down that left side. Rico Lewis and Eze. Gomez doesn't often pass the ball forward unless he's in his own half. Always looks for Rice, always getting the call from Stones. Again, it's natural. Stones into Colwyn, taken away from Eze. Well done, Finland, but only for a brief millisecond. Hard-working Finnish outfit. Don't want to concede more than one. Now Madueke up against Moskana. Holds it up and he's got support from Alexander-Arnold. Doesn't want to use him. He's outnumbered. Ball's taken away. Well done by Peltola. Again, Stones intervenes. The header goes about 15 metres forward. Alexander-Arnold, no one coming near him. To Finland's detriment, the pressure might pay off here for England. In full control. Topi Keskinen starting to fade the batteries after a big opportunity at 0-0 to put Finland in front. Pukki and he had words. An apologetic Topi Keskinen of Aberdeen. Finally with HJK, a €1 million move in the summer. First year in the northern or northeastern Scottish climate there. He is from Finland. Here's a volley. It's a hopeful volley. First time by Eze. Would have been a Van Basten-like reversal. A transposed addition in from the right. Alexander-Arnold, the chip out to the back post, and it's about 12 yards away from that left post on the acute 45-degree angle. And Eze skews it over the top. It's another change here for Finland. 1-0. Still anything can happen as Keskinen did look as though he was fading. Just talking about him, he's off for Antman. There's the number 7. She's been accused of being a superhero. No particular species. Oliver Antman, 23 years old, plays with Go Ahead Eagles. It's the first division, if I actually speak Dutch. 3 games there this season. No goals, no assists, but he's a forward. Comes over from Nordjylland, formerly with Groningen. And has scored a few goals in his time, his best season, 5 goals to assist back in 2022. So Oliver Antman on as Finland go in pursuit of the goals. Still no Joel Poyenpalo. With the man I'll be turning to as Rice wins it back. High offensive turnover. Away to Grealish. Draws in the man. Eze doesn't shoot. Wanted to tuck it back in and beat the man in on the right and shoots. Instead it's Gomez. Back out for Eze. Left half space. Chips it. Nobody there. Not Kane. Nor the keeper. He goes behind harmlessly. It's a goal kick Finland. 15 minutes to go plus added time. The referee Krog from Denmark hasn't had really that much to do. Big occasion, big stage for him. 90,000 at Wembley. It's by no means packed. It is a massive stage, and I think that's something that Keskinen wanted to score at Wembley. Hog the ball, that's what we used to say in the juniors. Instead of finding Timu Puki, 34-year-old, a little bit disgruntled in the dressing room, no doubt. He's brought off at half-time. Now Gomez. England trying to emerge from their own half. 76th minute. Long ball from Greek. It's nestled to the boot of Madueke. Took a hit from Miskin and he's round the back of him. Wonderful work from Madueke. The shot comes and it is Harry Kane who makes no mistake. In line with the right post. Tucks it into the left-hand side netting. England 2, Finland 0. Well deserved. The Three Lions are well on their way to the top of their group. Standings still at 4 goals scored, none conceded in League B. Group B2. Harry Kane in his 100th game. It's goal number 68 and he's on a hat-trick. Finland also at risk of conceding 3 goals in how many games in a row is that going to be? Let's have a look at their head-to-heads. Lost 3-0 to Finland, to Greece rather. Conceded 2 in a friendly against Scotland, conceded 4 against Portugal. They're beaten by Wales in their qualification for what? That is Harry Kane, it's his night. Could have more than just the 2. He is a prolific marksman. Deserves the accolades. He deserves to lift the trophy. Won't be able to lift the Nations League, even if top their group. It's a Group B encounter. Group A, those are the sides that will contest the UEFA Nations League silverware. Don't want to say glory. People accusing it of being glorified friendlies. Now that it's a system well underway where you can just bring in a few of the less fancy players that want to have a run at international level. A bit more pressure than a friendly, and it's morphed into somewhat of an entertaining league. So a couple of weeks break, September, October to November, and then the finals. Quarterfinals now. Long ball for Eze. Out comes Radecki. Chips it back to halfway. Kamara pops it over the top. Then Gomez sends it the other way. Then Rice settles it down. And Kane. What a ball that is for Madueke. Right wing into the box now. On an angle. Madueke. Can he score? No. Big save. We'll chip it to the back post where Rico Lewis waits. Then it's Eze. His shot had the heat taken out of it by a Finland midfielder. I think that was Peltola there. He's been one of the best players. Call themselves the Eagle Owls. The Hukajat. Lucas Radecki's side. Murray Littman, and of course the most capped player, probably the most famous Finnish player of all time, 137 caps. Player records. It is he with 32 goals. Now beaten by Timu Puki. He's got 42. And less caps. They've been playing in probably a more difficult time. Joe Poliampalo is on the bench. 10th highest goal scorer with 15. Just getting into the 80th minute, England leading by 2-0. And it's time for Harry Kane to come off. So Jared Bowen and Harry Kane on a hat-trick. That's brave from Lee Carsley. I think the hierarchy of Bayern Munich won't mind Bowen coming in. Republic have gone to a 3-1 lead over the Ukraine. Just looking at the fast score app. Susek with the goal. So Kane with the second half brace comes off, and Madueke gets one assist. Alexander-Arnold gets the other. Kane now exits stage left, a superstar. And where he comes on for Stones. Manchester City man comes off. That is now the fifth and final change for Lee Carsley in England. Ball through the legs, well done by referee to get out of the way. It's down the left side. It's with Niskanen, loses possession once more. I don't really see him often keeping possession. His hospital passes away. It led to England's opener. Down the left, Madueke and Eze toiling away. Eze to the goal line. That is expert defending, no. And away comes Hoskonen. Clears his line. Taken back by Colwill. Gomez is going to complete the 90-minute journey. Grealish as well. That's the 1-2. That's the give and go. Now it's Finland coming down that central lane. That's a poor pass. And not very well thought out there by Oliver Outman. Nine minutes to go, then added time. And Finland can make one more change. Needing 2 goals to take a result home. So they need to commit more men forward. That is to be a point that we need to emphasise here. So Rice, 40 yards away, England in the central position. Gomez, good partnership between those two. Happy just to stroke the passing around. Rice then goes for the long switch out to the left wing from centre field, pulling for Eze. In front of him he has Starr. Saw that often with Gordon in the first half. Eze puts the ball into the middle. One can't get there. Cleared away for an England throw. Back to halfway left side. England going from left to right in the second period. Looking at their formation now, Pickford in goal, Lewis on the left side, Alexander-Arnold still on the right, where he and Colwill in the middle, Gomez, Rice, Grealish playing behind Bowen, Madueke right side, Eze on the left. Finland still with a change to be made if they want. Nowitzki in goal, Ivanov, Hoskonen, 2 centre halves, Stahl right side, Niskanen on the left, Atman, Kamara and Peltola in the middle, Schuller, Kalman and Lotz up forwards. Up forward is just in terms of their 4-3-3 formation. One playing up forward, and that's Kalman with everyone else behind the ball. England confident, happy just to keep possession down his left side. Now Lewis, fleet-footed away from his man, and Gomez. Triangular passing. Always got an extra passing lane open, don't they, England? Looking solid. Alexander-Arnold sprays it out to Madueke. Try the hopeful ball over the top. Took a touch. Should be an England throw, I think. No. Poor skills, linesman says, in Finland throw. We might have our very last change. Rasmus Schuller. There will be no Joel Poyampalo. Instead, we're going to hear from and see Leo Walter. 21-year-old midfielder. Plays for a club called Sirius, as in, not serious, as in are you serious? Is Sirius. They're from Sweden. Part of the town of Uppsala, which is a student town. The most recent result is a 2-1 away win over Västerås. They did lose to Djurgården, so Walter replacing Schuller, who is a Djurgården player. A bit of Swedish influence in his Finnish side. Here's Madueke into the right half space, 8 yards away on the angle, gives it back to Rice. Plenty of traffic in front of him, moves it backwards. Alexander-Arnold looking for an option, looking for a way out, so is Rice. Find Guehi and Colwell. He's playing as a left centre-back in the back four. Fires it out to the left wing. Rico Lewis. It was ambitious, that pass. No other option. And Finland defend their lines. The pressure. Not a demoralising defeat by any means. England could have scored more. That's a poor pass out from the keeper. And now England can make it 3 if they want. Keeper atones by diving on the grenades. Madueke, left foot dinky pass into the box, and now it's with Antman. Settles it down for Niskanen. Kamara. Antman in the middle. Plenty of space, can run at his man towards Gomez. Now this is good progression down the right wing. Come diagonally into the pitch. Antman into the box. Puts it past the keeper, past Kalman, and Pickford will scamper over and pick it up. The 7th minute now. England 2, Finland 0. Both goals from Harry Kane. An assist into the stats section for Madueke and also Trent Alexander-Arnold. Some of the other scores around town, around the continent. Ireland 0, Greece 1. Ioannidis Panathinaikos with what appears to be the winner there. Greece will be top of this group with England. Poor start for the Republic of Ireland. Albania losing at home to Georgia. Kokorashvili, who is a Levante player now, was in Castellon. Georgia Kokorashvili with the goal. Kvaratskhelia scoring the other night. Napoli winger. So live standings in League B. We've got Georgia on top of Group 1 in League B. Albania, Czech Republic with a 3-2 lead over Ukraine this evening. Here's Eze at the left wing with Grealish. We've got Lewis inside, and then who's there? Madueke in the striking position with Bowen. Don't have a way through. Too many players in a cluster there. Now it's Eze taken away from him by Peltola. Easily done by Finland. No one forward though. Very compressed. So Group 2, which is England's group, it's Greece technically in first place. Not sure what that's based on. But they scored 4, conceded 0, and so have England. So England with a goal here will go top of the group. Also Greece, if they get one, will be outright top. Group C this evening, North Macedonia have gone out to a 2-0 lead despite being down to 10 men. And it was 0-0 when they were reduced to 10 men. Bardi and Miovski with 2 goals, 9 minutes apart, 70th and 79th. And that is over Armenia. Inspirational from them. Andorra losing at home to Malta. A historic win. It's like San Marino the other night against Liechtenstein in Group D. Now it's Antman, works his way through a few hectic challenges. Still Finland in their own half. They're only all blue. Peltola brings it forwards. He touches, dishes it off, shifts it out to the left. And Lodi's there with Kamara in front of him. Kamara might go out to further left in the Niskanen. Let's see if he can find a man. He does. Pushes it into the path of Lodz. Offside call. So Niskanen playing the late pass. But Kamenzuli from Malta has scored. Ryan Kamenzuli plays his football in Malta with Hamrun. And they are away at Andorra. 1-1. The battle of the heavyweights there. Hungary 0. Bosnia and Herzegovina 0. Netherlands 2. Germany 2. That is a brilliant game, I'm sure. And we are bringing you that live coverage. Rangers, Undaf, Kimmich and Dumfries with those goals when it's the last couple of minutes before added time, as England happy just to keep control here. Czech Republic winning a cliffhanger in Prague. Such with 2 goals, Vanat, and then Suchek from the penalty spot. Sudakov has made it 3-2, so still something to play for the Ukrainians. And don't forget, this weekend we're back to the Championship and Premier League action. Premier League, 8 games coming up on Saturday for you. Pretty tasty ones there. Fulham West Ham should be nice. Palace against Leicester. And Palace will have Eze out there. Just touched the ball, lost it to Rico Lewis. Now Vinicius Cannon pushes it, doesn't find the man. England are pressing, but Finland now on the counter-attack. Rice is getting back. Ball pushed around a bit. Rice slides and makes sure it goes out. He put it into Antman. So Rice with an impressive intervention there. It's come off Antman. That's an England throw. Right side at halfway. Taken by Green. Brighton, Ipswich, Southampton, Manchester United, Liverpool, Nottingham Forest, Aston Villa, Everton, Bournemouth, Chelsea. That's Saturday. And also we have Milan, Venezia on Saturday night. Serie A for you. Sunday, couple more Premier League games. Tottenham, Arsenal. That is going to be mouth-watering. That one. Wolves, Newcastle also. That's the later kick-off. Not forgetting La Liga, Girona, Barcelona. It is the Catalan derby. England still with it into the second minute of stoppages. 30 yards probing for a third goal. Bowen into his man, so we'll settle with where he cross Colwell, centre field. And some help now from Alexander-Arnold on halfway.